Before we get to this episode, by the time that this podcast is being released, um, there was a death to someone that was very close to me. He was someone that I worked with for a very long time, and he was someone that I learned from. I often mention that he was like a mentor to me. He was 80 something years old, and he was just, you know, honestly one of the best guys that I knew. And over the last several years, he had been battling cancer multiple times. And while there was a few times he was able to beat it and he was successful, this last time he was not. He was someone that I looked up to, and honestly, it killed me, for lack of a better term, that I wasn't able to see him before he passed. But it was one could think that it was a selfish reason, because I didn't like seeing people on their way out, on their deathbed, just wasting away from cancer. That's not how I wanted to remember him. And I loved that man. Whenever I started working at my job so many years ago, we interacted every once in a while, but we never actually worked together. And then I was fortunate enough to have him and I working at the same time in the same place, doing the same thing. And we got to know each other a lot more. I got to know his wife. And I always tell everyone, whenever you work at a job, and it's almost any job that you work at, there's different age brackets of friendships. I always tell everyone, you could make friends with people that are older than you, make friends with people that are younger than you, because you can learn from both ages, and you can teach both ages, every age gap. And I learned a lot from him. He was a great guy. He always had a toothpick in his mouth, and he was a avid Chiefs fan, and he used to give me so much crap because as a 49er fan, whenever we lost both Super Bowls to the Chiefs, he would always make sure he called me or he texted me, and kind of just needling me, and I loved it. Uh, I left the place that I work now, or at least in the last couple of years since I've been back. And the entire time, I'd go in, you know, pick some stuff up, and I'd run into him and I'd talk to him. Or I'd get off work in the early mornings and I'd run by the store to see him, and just to catch up. Then he got sick again. And I volunteered my off time from my job. I'd go in and I'd help the store out, so kind of make up for him not being there. And unfortunately, right before I came back for good, he retired. So I never really got a chance to really work with him after 2021. But he would come in every once in a while, and I'd go see him whenever I could. And we'd have conversations, and we'd talk. I'm really just going to miss him. I'm really going to miss my friend Max. And I hope he knows that. I hope whenever he passed, he knew how much he meant to me, how much I really, 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 really cared about him. So Max, I appreciate your kindness. I appreciate everything you've done for me. And I know we up in heaven, and there's no more pain, there's no more cancer. And I just want you to know that I love you, man. And I respected you and I cared about you. And I will forever be grateful that I got to exist at the exact same time as you. Thanks again.
What's up, guys? In Your Head with Shannon Standiford is a podcast where Shannon talks to everyday people with everyday problems. Everyone has a story, and every story should be told. So you listen right now to Shannon's podcast on Spotify and many other places, y'all. Come on, man. Be the light. Peace.
Welcome back to In Your Head with Shannon Standiford, and welcome to a brand new year. There's something about the start of a new year that just feels wide open, like a deep breath, like a blank page, new intentions, new conversations, new chances to grow into the people we're becoming. And today is extra special because this isn't just an episode. This is the first episode of the new year, of the new season. And there's no better way to step into it than with a story of resilience, truth, and strength. Which brings me to today's guest. And I am truly honored to welcome back Brittany Phillips. She's returning to In Your Head after about a year and a half. And if you heard her story before, you already know Brittany isn't just a guest, she's a force. She is a survivor of sexual assault. She is a survivor of domestic assault. She endured being held in a car at gunpoint. And despite trauma that could have silenced her, she chose to keep going. She chose to fight. She chose to live out loud. Brittany is a survivor. Brittany is a fighter. And Brittany is still standing. If you haven't listened to her previous episode, I want you to add it to your list right now. Go listen to Rebuilding Brittany on Spotify. Go watch it on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts from. That episode laid the foundation. Today, we continue the story. So, new year, new chapter, same unstoppable Brittany, with more growth, more perspective, and more truth to share. Take a breath, get comfortable, and let's step inside the conversations we don't always say out loud. This is In Your Head with Shannon Standiford. Brittany Phillips, welcome back.
Quiet of the night where dreams take flight, voices whisper softly, shining like the stars so bright. Every heart has a story, don't you ever forget. Let's open our minds, share the journey, no regret. Here we gather, a circle of hope, sharing laughter and tears, we learn just how to cope. Every tale we tell, it helps to heal our souls. In the space of understanding, together we become whole. So let the words flow, let the music rise. In your head with Shannon, the stories come alive. Every heartbeat echoes where our spirits thrive. From fears to triumphs, we'll paint the skies anew. With this podcast journey, I'm here with
you. So, welcome back, Brittany. How are you, dear?
I'm good. Thanks for having me back.
No problem. I'm glad that you are back and we are able to go back into your story. So there is a lot of new developments. So let's get into it. What has life been like for you since you've been on the show last?
The last time we talked, that was about a year, maybe a year and a half ago.
Mhm.
So I feel like 2025, in a nutshell, everything that you can think of that may happen or could happen to somebody in a year, almost everything happened. Um, so I'll start at the beginning of 2025.
Oh, yes. Let's start with the beginning of 2025.
So in my career, I was able to advance into a corporate position with a local reputable hospice company here in the Cincinnati area. Um, Huge for me because I've always worked in healthcare, but I've always wanted to advance in HR. There was no corporate, like we were corporate. So I was corporate HR. And then I got to do like the accounts payable, the accounts receivable, like learn a lot. I learned a lot. So I start my new journey in my career. And last episode when we talked, I kind of told you like, you know, dating is because I kind of felt like my one true love was already out there. Like I'd met him. We just timing
Yeah, the
wasn't.
guy. Yeah, the guy in Michigan.
Yeah. So he moved to Ohio and
Okay.
rough transition, rough start. He moved down here, had to find a job, things like that. Um, we ended up getting married in July. So great, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I I don't know if I shared with you last episode, but my oldest son he lived with his dad at the time. So primarily lived with
Vaguely
his
sounds
dad.
familiar. Yeah.
hmm So August, I bought my first house. And
Congratulations.
thank you. I got my oldest son back full time. So
Yay.
all of my kids are living under the same roof. Like I feel like I don't know if men are the same way, but as a woman, like we have these boxes that we need to check. So like married, career, bought a house, kids, like what other boxes could you possibly need to check? And then the end of 2025 kind of showed his true colors. Marriage with this person that I thought was my soulmate was nothing like it was supposed to be. Um, I feel like, and I don't know if you're religious or, whoever's listening, but I believe, and I'm a
Mhm.
strong believer in God. And I feel like when we keep asking for something, like obviously over 10 years, it didn't happen the way that it was supposed to. But we always have, like, we have that doubt. Why didn't it happen? Why didn't things work out? And I feel like sometimes God gives us what we've been asking for to show us, like, this wasn't meant to be.
Right.
Um, and that's okay because now I know. So while I kind of like beat myself up for it still, I wasted 5 years of my life waiting for this person. I know now and I can move on consciously. So I filed for divorce in November. Um, Probably the best decision, like a weight lifted off my shoulders. Very just nothing, nothing like the last one, like no abuse,
I
but
mean,
very
that was
just,
going to be where I was going to go with, considering
yeah,
the last one uh,
yeah.
is still talked about by some of the people that have that I know personally that have listened to that episode. They and then when they ask about you, if I knew anything about you, and I was like, well, the last time I checked, she got married. So,
hmm
and they're like, wait,
Yeah. So, Caden's dad is in prison again. Um,
oh
I
darn,
feel like it's best for him to be there.
I
Um,
believe so too.
yeah, it's peaceful. Nothing, I think we're just on two different paths in life. He's very old fashioned, and these are things that like you should talk about before you get married. But you would think I've known this person for 10 years, No, marriage is completely different. The things that you should talk about. We have kids from different relationships. Our parenting style, our discipline style is very different. Um, we're in a new generation where how we grew up is not how our kids grow up.
Yeah,
Um,
unfortunately, yeah.
it's yeah, we're in a new generation where both people in the household have to work. Um, and so I like with what I went through, I bring this up because for me, it's very hard to say we're married, you're the man of the house because we're equal. And I know that's not how it used to be, but I've learned about myself that I'm not a submissive person. I'm very like headstrong, take charge if needed kind of person. And that's too much for some people, and that's okay. I'm very career driven, so I'm always gonna thrive for more.
Hmm.
And for some people that's okay, but for others it's not compatible.
Right.
And that's okay. Um so learning that and then very end of 2025, my company announced that they were closing. So the
Oh,
job that was like this great dream job, perfect hours, like great money, great flexibility for my kids is gone. Like they gave us, I think, a 3-week notice. And here we are. Like Christmas break is here, and I'm like, well, I'm just gonna take off with the kids. I haven't been able to do that working in healthcare. It's you don't get that time.
right.
Um, and I've kind of just made the most of it, like soak that time up and guess what? I'll figure out the rest. I don't know. The level of not stressing out is something very new for me. Um, Shit happens. It is what it is. Life goes on.
Yeah.
Um, all in all, I feel like 2025 wasn't that bad. Considering how the end went, it could have been a lot worse.
That's very true. So basically, it sounds like your 2025 was a little mixed bag of you had some ups, you had some
Mhm.
downs, kind of evened out a little bit. So I'm gonna pick apart all of that
Okay.
and get into your head. Um, I just I just heard what I did there. All right, so beginning of the year. Okay.
Hmm.
Well, actually, let's before we do that. Um, the last time that you were on the show,
Hmm.
you told your story and told all the things that happened with you, the abuse
Hmm.
in your childhood, the abuse from like ex. Um,
Hmm.
a lot of these things were just like really heavy things. Did you personally, after getting done with the interview and having it out there, did you feel any kind of relief?
Somewhat, yes. I don't know that relief is the right word. I feel excited because, and I don't think it hit right away, but more so now than before to come back on because working in my career that I just had just for a year, but I've learned so much and I've been around so many women who are strong women who my CEO was one of them, and she pushed me to do better. And so over the last year is has really been the time where I've reflected on our last episode because relief wouldn't be the word, but excited because how many people did that reach? How many people
Right.
did that impact? And being in this like circle of women who I worked with every day who were strong women, like it kind of made me be like, you know what? Like almost like women's empowerment. Like I hope that hit somebody and it, you know, hit them the right way. Like they took something from it.
Has
Um
had anybody come to you after, like,
No. No, I mean, friends had watched it, but they had already knew the story. Nobody that I didn't know, or nobody knew.
well, do you think out of anyone that you know that did or may have watched it, do you think that you may have put an idea in their head of maybe it's time for them to tell their story?
I hope so. I have a lot of friends on my Facebook from throughout my domestic violence journey, who I stay in contact with, and a couple of them, were like, "That's great that you did that. Maybe I would want to do that." I actually, we're still friends, but kind of went our own paths. We had talked about doing like a podcast or something like that, and just never got around to it. Based on domestic violence,
Yeah.
the things that women go through. But just never got around to it. Like, she's in a different state, just different things going on in our lives.
Okay. All right, so let's go into the 2025. All right, so after you we, you reconnect with the Michigan guy,
Mhm.
you guys end up getting married, falls apart. Um, what does I mean? Now, in hindsight, you're looking at it like, hey, best thing, but
Not
in
at
the thick of
first.
it, yeah, in the thick of it, right now, like at that point, what's going on in your head? Are you feeling defeated? Are you feeling like, you wanted something so much for so long and it just never panned out the way that you'd hoped for? Like, what does that do to you on a mental level?
I honestly had a lot of thoughts. Anger, and more angry with myself. Like, I should have just not pushed for it. Um, I don't think we got too much into it on the last episode, but I struggled with infertility. And
Oh no,
so,
I don't think we actually even talked about it. Oh,
yeah, so um I think what's hard for me, and it's still hard, and it's one of those things that you question, like, why do things have to be this way? So while we were together, we had numerous miscarriages. Our last miscarriage, we lost twins.
oh,
And so then we went our separate ways. I had Caden and got married, and he had a baby. So his son and my youngest son are a year apart. Um, so a lot of anger towards that, like, why didn't we ever work out? Like, why did he have a baby with somebody else and I had a baby with somebody else, but we could never carry together? Um, a lot of anger, like, I think that intertwining that together after we both had already had another kid was very hard. Um, but then frustration, like anger, like, you're not this person that I need you to be or I want you to be. And I need certain things from you. Like, why did I even go down this route again? And almost like you feel stupid. Like, why did I do this to myself? Um, there was a point in time in going through this where I had to take a medical leave from work because my mental health went down the drain. Um, I could not function. I could not eat. I couldn't sleep. I was angry. I was having anxiety. So, in the thick of it, like, this is my day to day. And, I thought that it would get worse after filing for divorce because we go through that grieving process. And the only thing that I felt was relief. Like, the weekend he moved out, he didn't announce that he was moving out. I didn't know if it was planned. I don't know if it just happened, but it happened. We had an argument. He moved out. And I thought I would be sad. And the only thing I felt was relief. And I slept great. Like, the first night in months where I was like, I got a good night's sleep. And it's been peaceful. Like, I have that peace back in my life that I was missing, that I didn't even realize I was missing. Um, so yeah, in the thick of it, it was hard. I mean, it is hard to live with somebody and like you can't stand their guts.
Yeah.
And like you have to keep it together, especially with your kids around. Like you have to keep it together. And that is like one of the hardest things that you can do in life.
Very, very true. Yeah. If you're living with somebody and you living with them, married to them, and or whatever the situation is, and you just cannot stand
Mhm.
their face, their voice, the way they move, yeah, you're looking at like if something doesn't, happen,
Or this person
there's a
knows
charge
you.
coming.
Oh yeah, this person knows you. Like they know your buttons and everything. Like and as well as you know them and you know their buttons.
Mhm.
And you kind of, there were plenty of times going through this where I was like, a vacation sounds nice. And I don't mean a vacation to Florida. I mean like either the psych ward or prison. And I was like, it might be worth it. Um, it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, yeah. So, all right, so you get the divorce, and you're working in the dream job,
Hmm.
and you're doing everything's going great. And then you get that
So
part.
pause because I filed the divorce and then like a week later he moved out. He moved out on a Saturday. I found out, and this all happened in November. I
Oh
found
shit.
out that Tuesday that our company was closing. So
Oh, this
literally
all
within
okay. So
3
this all
days.
happened at one time. Oh, okay.
Yes.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, that definitely will cause a monkey wrench in the brain,
Mhm.
So, okay, so all this is happening all at
Mhm.
one time. So you got the failed marriage, and now
Mhm.
your dream job is just gone.
Yep.
It's close to Christmas. I
Mhm.
mean, you had to been just flipping out inside.
I wasn't. And you know what? That's so strange because normally like that would be me. I would be a nervous wreck. Um in the midst of all this, my oldest son got his driver's license. Um so he was doing driving school, got his driver's license. I just bought him his first car. All of the things that I didn't think that I would be able to do because of everything going on, like Christmas was great. Um, that the kids made out great for Christmas. They got everything that they wanted. Plus more. He got his first car. I don't know what really hit me to not stress out, but like being HR, you like there's people who have been with this company that is closing for 20 years, the whole time they've been open. And so I kind of found myself distracted, like being there for them. And then it wasn't until like the last day that I was like, this is real. Um, Luckily, I am someone who doesn't just have one job at any given time. So I also work for a home care company, and a lot of my work is remote with them. But there's the opportunity to go pick up and be a caregiver. And I like to say I'm not going to forget where I started from. I started being a caregiver. And I also have a laundry business on the side. So I think in a way that kind of helped not freak out. But what I found is I'm not rushing into a job just to take a job because I'm looking for, I mean, obviously I'm looking for a job, but being able to have this supplemental income, no, it's not going to amount to what I was making at this dream job, but it's okay. Um, I have been able to go back, and so like I picked up shifts caregiving, and I've been able to go back and really like enjoy, not that I didn't enjoy my HR work, but HR, like hospice, I'm not seeing the patients. We don't get that interaction. And I went to nursing school. Like I miss that patient interaction. And so being able to pick up these shifts as a caregiver has been totally rewarding. I miss being able to take care of people. And so I'm kind of
Mhm.
just soaking that up at this point. And when something comes, it comes. When the right opportunity comes along, then I'm here for it. But I'm not rushing anything until then.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, makes sense. When um when I mean you talked about your son coming back. How excited were you to
Oh, I
get your
was,
first one?
yeah, totally excited. I bought the house. It's a 4 bedroom. All the kids have their own rooms. Like so excited. He started in a really good school district. I was getting ready to say the name, but I do want to kind of keep
Right,
my
yeah.
area private. He started in a really good school district that has a really great football team. He
Oh.
wants to play football again. So I was excited. I knew it was going to be a challenge for him because he came from a not so good situation. And it
Mhm.
has. It's been a challenge. And let me tell you, like even going to college, algebra, geometry, biology, like I don't remember it. So it's been a struggle for him and myself, trying to get him through this. But he was approached by the football coach. He starts weightlifting this week. And
Oh,
I'm hoping that, I mean, he works, he goes to school. We have minor hiccups. He's a teenager. Um, I could go on about parenting and how difficult parenting is, especially teenagers. But
yeah.
all in all, like I'm excited for his future. He looked at a trade school out here and put in his application to go to trade school. Um, I'm super excited for him and what his future holds and proud of him because he came from a really bad situation to this great situation that maybe right now he doesn't realize that it's that great. um I think he is struggling as a teenager would, but I think the reward's going to pay off, so it's super exciting.
Was it was there any kind of oh, let me say this. Uh, difficulty difficulty adjusting to him being back with you, or was it just seamless?
I think a little bit. For a long time I just had my now 11-year-old and my 5-year-old. And I mean, not too much difficulty, but my 11-year-old, like she is smart as a whip, like never needs help with homework. Like I come home, she's got it. I'm like, you got it, girl. Like 5-year-old shower, he's not in kindergarten yet. Like we had our routine. So definitely adding in high school um homework. The other thing that really, I don't know how it is out there where you live, but they don't provide busing for high schoolers anymore.
Hmm.
And so like trying to navigate this schedule of taking him to school and picking him up was a little difficult, but nonetheless we made it through.
That's so weird that you guys don't do that because here in Missouri they still do that.
Yeah, they do not. I think most schools in our area have went to no busing for high school. So definitely a challenge, but we got through it. I think, we're on to our new set of challenges with him driving and the things that come with that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I wouldn't trade it for anything. Um, Having all of my kids back under the same roof is something that I wanted for a long time, and I have it. And, we are a chaotic family. Like, and it's crazy. Like, I think about this, like, I'm not ready to go into the dating world, but I think about the dating world and I'm like, my kids are crazy. Like, we are chaotic over here. And I don't know if that's normal, but we are chaotic and that's scary. Like, that can scare people away. Um, but we're a family of love
No,
at the end of
no,
the day.
no, I definitely get that. And I mean, obviously, you should not rush into dating after going through the year that you've had. I tell everyone all the time, after like after a failure, you should probably give yourself like a little or a lot time to figure out next moves, uh,
Hmm.
yourself, and all that. With everything that you've gone through, what are the two things that you learned the most?
I'm glad you brought that up because you just said give yourself time. And I was going to say, um, I don't have a problem being alone. When myself and Caden's dad split, I was by myself up until last year. So 4 years. And I think that there's this like stigma about being by yourself. Like it gets lonely, whatever. People don't like being by themselves. I am here to tell you, like, maybe I'm abnormal. And I've been told this by some friends, like, you're not normal. And it's okay. I love being by myself. And I have figured that out. And it was being married again that made me realize I like being alone. And that's dangerous. That is very
It
dangerous.
really is. Yes, I agree.
Because when you have reached a level of like you are so comfortable with yourself to be alone that you don't need to come home to anybody, it's like a whole new level of like whoever you're talking to, like you're talking to them because you want to talk to them, not
Yeah,
because you need to.
right.
And I think that that's so important for people to realize because you kind of raise your standards. I'm not going to settle because I think that I need somebody or because I don't want to be alone. I don't care. I'll sit here alone for the next 5 years before I settle for something. And I like being alone. I prefer to be alone. And maybe it's abnormal. I don't want to tell somebody like I had a long day at work and I'm going to bed at 6 o'clock tonight. And I don't want to have to explain like, well, why did you have this hard day at work? Like there's just times where I don't want to talk about it. Um, I'm very OCD. I like my house a certain way. Um, my closest friends will tell you like she is crazy because the house is not dirty and she cleans. And so like having somebody here that just doesn't understand you or mesh well with you, it's not good mentally. Um, so I see myself alone, and I like not forever. I mean, I'll venture back out. But I have goals. I'd like to start writing, maybe get a book out. I don't know. I've been listening to a lot of books, reading a lot of books. There's this one book that I really liked it. It was The Many Lives of Mama Love. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it's a good book.
I came across it on Audible.
Yeah, it's a good book. I finished it within like a day and a half on the Audible. So I've really been inspired to just try some new things. Like I would love to start writing. And so maybe speaking more. I don't know. I don't know what that looks like, but I know that I have bigger plans for my future. And so being able to focus on that right now is my number one priority. That and my kids. And whatever happens, happens. And I think that saying that on this show is very important because I feel like you do have a large female audience. And
I'd say most of my audience is female.
so, like, I think that it is so important to be able to connect with these women. And like I said in the beginning, like we all have these boxes of like what life is supposed to look like by the time we're 30 or what, however old. And it's okay to not check your boxes. Like it is okay. Who cares? Because why check your box and get into the wrong situation?
I
Um,
I think that there's a lot of societal pressure on women per se
mhm,
to that you have to want these things and you have to want these things at a certain time.
mhm,
And I don't necessarily agree with a lot of that. I mean everybody, at some point in their lives, whether you're man or woman, you want the house, you want the
yeah.
family,
Mhm,
you want the dream job, you you want the legacy.
mhm,
But I think society, entertainment, like Hollywood, all this, like the news, they all put this stigma and this pressure on you girls to do all this,
mhm.
by a certain age, and if you don't do it by that certain age, then
You're a
there's
failure.
something wrong with you. You're a
Mhm,
failure.
mhm. I don't know if you saw my recent post on Facebook, our annual Christmas picture. And so I took the annual photos that I could find, um, over the years. And our very first one was my two oldest. They were young at the time, and we had a chocolate lab at the time, and that was us. That was our family picture. And then over the years, like the pictures changed, but they didn't change in the way that I wanted them to change at the time. The next year, it was now I had three kids and we still had our chocolate lab. And then the next year, chocolate lab had passed away, still us, me and the three kids. And this year, it hit me like I'm standing in line to get these Christmas pictures, and we have a black lab now. And I'm like, over the years, and when I tell you, like the first one, my kids were little, I thought that these pictures would look so much different. Like, not just us, like husband, more kids. It's and you stand in line and you see these families, these moms, the dads, kids, oh, happy family. And it really hit me like it's okay for your family not to look like that.
Hmm.
And maybe our family never will, but we're still a family. Um, Regardless of who's missing or what society says is not. I get that a lot because I work with an older generation. You're not married, you're divorced. Well, how many kids do you have? Like, but it's okay. Like, there's no rush or time limit to do these things. And funny enough, I don't know if you've seen the video. There's like this video circulating around Facebook. There's this woman on a boat and she like takes her shirt off. She's got a bathing suit top on and she's like swinging it around and just living her best life in her 40s. And I joke with my kids, I'm like, because my youngest is 5, I'm 34. I'm like, in my 40s, that's going to be me. I'm going to be living my best life because I've raised you guys and like, I want to have fun. So I don't know. I just think it's important to say that. Like, you don't have to be what society thinks that women should be. And it's a beautiful thing for women to be something different, to be outspoken. Don't, I mean, it's okay to be submissive in certain situations, but don't be that submissive woman who just gets walked on. Like, be that outspoken woman. I'm currently reading this book. It's called Women in Power, and it was written by a local doctor here in the Cincinnati area. And one of the things, there's a lot to take away from that book. I've been kind of stuck on this book for 2 months now just because of everything going on, but I'm halfway through. I'd like to finish it. And one of the things that really I took from this was like not being afraid to go after the things that you want, not being afraid to speak your mind, but then also like going back and thinking about me going through my divorce. Like, there's a lot that I found out that happened during my marriage after the fact that I'm like not okay with, along the lines of infidelity. And like, there's that one part of me that's like, all right, I'm gonna go, like, I gotta find this girl because I want to beat her up. Um, so there's this thing that she talks about, and it's allowing yourself 5 minutes to think about it, to be mad about it, whatever. You get 5 minutes, and then you change the tape and you're done. We're not going to keep replaying the same tape over and over. And that has helped me tremendously through this pending divorce, because it's not final yet. We still have to go to court. I don't know how I'm going to feel the day that I see him in court, because all of those emotions are still
Still very raw.
yeah, they're there. I'm angry. Um, So yeah, I mean, I'm trying to take these little things and learn and grow with them. Um, I just think it's important for women to know that and to realize that, like, to realize, back to the being alone part, like, you can't expect somebody to be with you and love you if you can't even stand your own company
I have,
or
yeah,
your aloneness.
I totally understand that because, um, if you, um, if you can't stand being alone with yourself, then you are not going to be able to be with somebody else,
Mm-hmm.
because that will only make things worse. And
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Whenever you've been alone, uh, for a very long time, there's usually two reasons for it. One, you want to be,
Mm-hmm.
and two, you just stopped trying because
Mm-hmm.
you're just so in your head, you're so depressed. Um, and whenever you finally get into that area in your life where a relationship is going to take form or happen, one of the I know from prime example, because I before me and my fiance got together, I
Mm-hmm.
was alone for God, on again, off again for like maybe 5, 6 years,
Well, and
and I
your
was fine.
situation is still unique because you guys live in separate states. And
Yeah.
so you're still, to a certain extent, like, you're not sharing your space with this person all the time.
No, we video like whenever both of us are off work, we're usually video chatting.
Mhm.
As long as the Wi-Fi is good, it's it, we're around each other. If I go into the kitchen, sometimes either she be on the phone or uh, the Alexa, whatever.
Yeah.
We'll take each other play in different areas of our respective apartments. But and yeah, my situation is very different, but it is it is very much to say that whenever you're been alone for that long, putting your alone time aside for
Mm-hmm.
somebody is a very big deal. And I feel like she gets it. I get it. She's actually in she's actually watching this.
I
In
saw her comment.
uh,
I think that's neat. Like it takes a strong person to have the relationship that you have. Um, I would imagine like when you guys move in together that would be like another set of learning each other and boundaries.
it is because it's I feel like you're right because like in the like whenever we visit each other, we both know that we're only there for a certain amount of time.
Mhm. Right.
Uh, so it's kind of like it's like test waters, but like the more each other is like the more like whenever she comes to visit me or if I go to visit her, the more comfortable we get around each other.
But you're
And I
still
think
embracing that time because you don't have a lot of time.
right,
Like you're on that time restraint.
you're like it's kind of like learning each other in short spurts,
Mhm.
and then hoping that the next time you're there
Mhm.
you remember these things.
Right.
And I have a shitty memory anyway, so which is weird because there are times I can't remember where my stuff is in my apartment, but I
Mhm.
know where her stuff is in her
Yeah.
apartment, and I may not have been there in a year, but I've been in my kitchen like an hour ago. So,
Right. Right. It's
but yeah,
yeah, I
it's
think you have a
yeah,
unique situation.
yeah,
And
it is a very unique situation, and it is a very um since we're speaking of relationships, I always tell everyone that if we're in a situation,
her hair is still there.
yeah,
It's everywhere.
she hasn't been here in about 2 years, because she came up to help me after I had back surgery,
Yeah.
and I'm still finding her hair, and I've
That's what
cleaned
happens.
since.
Yep. We are women and we shed worse than dogs.
Yeah, I told my my boys that you know how a woman has taken over your house, and they're like, how? And I was like, you find her hair and bobby pins everywhere.
Yeah.
That's her.
And
It's
like
her house now. You don't live there.
completely like raw and unfiltered, like you take a shower and you're pulling her hair from your butt crack. Like how?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
know.
yeah. She
Yeah.
has like I literally, um, she had. I think she left like maybe 3 months after my surgery. Um, 3 months after my surgery, after she had left, I had already been gone. I was I had washed my hair for the one of the real first times since like
Mhm.
I had the surgery, and it was a really true test. And I'm like I'm drying my hair, and I like pulling this long ass hair out of
That's not your hair.
yeah out of my like ear and towel, and I was like, what the hell? Yeah, so yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, she lives there.
Yep.
But but yeah, so like I always tell everybody, like it doesn't matter what kind of relationship that you have, the true test is whenever you do live with somebody.
Mhm.
And it doesn't matter if you like in long distance relationships, you can live together for a week, two, like whatever.
Mhm.
It's uh I know that it's not a true test, or it's like truly how it would be,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
I know that uh, whenever it comes to it, me and Bianca are two different people in a lot of. She's got OCD and I do not,
Mhm.
um, and there are just certain things, certain ways that she likes it, and I'm just in that atmosphere of like I don't give a fuck.
Right. And so when you mix that, especially after being alone for so long, like I think it's so difficult. And that's why I say it's very dangerous to be alone and get comfortable being alone for so long because
I
you're just like, I don't care
yeah.
whether you're or you're not.
I tell everyone that the most dangerous thing a person can do is to do casual or jump into a serious relationship um if you haven't been dating at all.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't, if you're not willing to compromise some of your alone time,
Mm-hmm.
and you go just full in to moving in with somebody or seeing somebody every day, my guess is there's a large percentage of those relationships do not work because
Yeah.
you're not after the honeymoon phase is over,
Yep.
you're realizing that you're like, hey, this person's not leaving,
They're not.
and
And
you have to
not
look at them,
only not
and
only compromising your personal time, but like you are sharing this space with somebody full time now. Like I don't like, and I'm OCD. So little things that may not be big to other people are big to me. Like when you're done in the shower, can you just rinse it out, please? Or like, I don't know, can you get your water bottle in the morning from the side of the bed so I don't like it just drives me nuts. And being willing to compromise that, like that's hard. That's going to be very hard for me when I eventually do go back into the dating world. Like I'm completely okay with living separate.
uh, I will make this joke. Are you okay if you just decide one day like, no, I don't want to do another relationship. I just want to be the crazy cat lady or the crazy dog lady.
It's funny that you say that. So, um, I have a dog and I have a cat. I love both of them, but I feel like I am more drawn to cats. So, going through my journey, I'm a caregiver again, part time. And one of my clients that I take care of now, um, I just started taking care of her. She had a pretty, I'm not going to say a pretty rough upbringing. She grew up in California. She went to a Catholic school, had an older sister, says her sister bullied her. Moved to New Mexico, got married. He abused her. They got divorced. Um, and she came to Cincinnati. She ran the North American Trucking Company for Chiquita.
Oh, okay.
And so she definitely struggles with some things. And she is the most unfiltered person that I have ever met. And I've met some pretty unfiltered people. Um, but she will tell you how it is and she does not care who it hurts. She like just raw and unfiltered. And the first time I met her, we are two very strong-willed people. Um, the day did not go great. I was telling her, "Hey, my job is to wash your clothes, clean your apartment. You're going to take a shower today." And she's like, "No, I'm not." Like, two middle fingers. And the last time I was with her yesterday. And I feel like I look at her and I'm like, that's me when I'm older because I have the same mentality that she has. And while I like kind of get discouraged because I'm like, why are you mad at the world? Because that's truly what it is. Um I don't want to be like that. So I'm kind of looking at her and I'm kind of like, okay, maybe I need to change this or do this differently. Because I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be alone forever. And she has a cat and that's her baby. And I've made jokes about it, not realizing like, oh my God, this is real until I started working with her. And so I don't know. I don't want to be that crazy cat lady that, is alone forever.
are you capable of making changes to yourself to the point to where you don't have these hesitations?
I feel like for the right person, yes. And
Well,
I
I
say
feel like
that,
the right person should be you.
well, yes, but for me, I don't think there's anything wrong with me in the way that I am right now. Um, I say for the right person because in a relationship, we have compromises, and I'm sure that there's things that you compromise. And so, one of the things that was big in being married to the guy from Michigan was he was very headstrong on like, you're a woman, you can't cut the grass, you can't take the trash out. The lights out in the hallway and you can't fix it. And I'm like, but I can. Um, and in hindsight, like, there's nothing wrong with saying that. Like, there's nothing wrong with what he was implying. It was the way he said it. Like, I'm the man of the house and the man does this. For me, like, no, we're equal. And so it really rubbed me the wrong way. And he had had surgery and I cut the grass and he's like, you can't do that. And I'm like, but I can. Um, I think for the right person, that compromise will come natural, but like it was a degrading way. And it wasn't just like that one time, it was all the time. Like, you're a woman, you can't take your car to the shop. You can't, I don't know, check your tire pressure, check your oil. You need to call me. And I'm like, no, but I can. And so those were a lot of the things that we butted heads about. Like, I would pick up third shifts caregiving, and he'd be like, you can't work third shift. You're a woman. You have to be in by 11 o'clock. And that just doesn't sit well with me. Like, don't tell me what I have to do. How about we have a discussion about it? Like, I'm not pushing off your feelings, but at the same time, like, I am a human and I'm somebody who's been alone for quite a while. And I've had to learn how to do these things on my own. And there's a different approach that you can take to it. Hey, I know you're able to cut the grass, but like, I really feel like I need to do that for you. I don't know. Maybe that would have went over different. So I think, yes, I can make the changes for the right person who's willing to also compromise with me. Um, I don't know.
I asked these, and well, this next question, I honestly hate this term because I think I went over it with Amanda, how much I hate this term. But the only other way that I can think of it is there. Everyone has things that people can like about somebody. People have things they don't like about things. I guess in this world that we live in now, it's green flag, red flag.
Hmm.
Do you Are you aware of what your red flags are?
I'm becoming more aware of them.
I think as we get older, we either learn, we have that moment where we're like, oh, okay, that makes sense now. Or where I guess we're just constantly told it, and then I guess, oh, okay, I guess that's something I should
I'm
work on.
constant. I'm constantly told my red flags. I will say that. However, some of them I cannot control. Like my past choice in men and who my kids' fathers are, I can't control that at this point. What I can control is my actions and my interactions with them. And especially Caden's dad, keeping that at zero because there is no requirement to react with him at this point, by law. Um, I would say some personal red flags. Like, I am aware, becoming aware of some of my red flags. Like, I am very hot headed and short tempered.
We call that
And
passionate.
yes, I am very passionate. Um, and I can go from 0 to 100 and not give a shit. Like, like go from I am this person who has this great career to I don't care, take me to jail in like 0 to 100.
Yeah, you should definitely work on that one.
Yeah, I'm trying. I have gotten better with age, but
I think, well, that's good.
there's just certain situations that calls for it. Like, and I'll give you an example of me flying off the handle. The day that he moved out, he had a girl come to my house, and like I was not aware that she was here until after he was already moved out, and the neighbor was like, "Dude, I can't believe you didn't just go pull her out of the car." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" Because I would have. And it's probably again God looking over me saying like, "I got you because you can't go to jail." Um but yes, like those situations 0 to 10. Um I've learned that I don't like confrontation for that reason. I don't want to go from 0 to 10. So like if we're in a disagreement or an argument, I would rather walk away and calm down before continuing that conversation. Um so yes, I'm aware of some of them and trying to fix them. And the
I
only
don't.
thing I can do is continue to try.
I only bring it up because the last time I brought this topic up, it was with Amanda, and
Mhm.
uh, you watched that episode, right?
I
Where
did,
there was
yeah.
that light bulb moment where she was like, "Well, I don't like this, so blah blah blah," and I was like,
Yeah,
"You're setting yourself up for failure." So
yeah.
I bring it up because I've got great success with this so far. So no, I mean, in all seriousness, I think we all should be aware of the things that I guess we do wrong. I mean, in that
Mhm,
way, we can all um, try working on it. And sometimes it's a lot harder, and it's long game. And then
mhm,
sometimes it's just those simple things of like like, hey, um, I don't necessarily talking through issues, because I know that was
mhm,
always a problem in past relationships with me. Is if I didn't like where a conversation was going, I just shut down.
mhm,
Um, but like when me and Bianca got together, and after a certain amount of time went by, it was one of those moments where we had that conversation. And I think
mhm,
everybody, whether you having that conversation with your partner or having that conversation with yourself, and if there's multiple people in your head, a big committee meeting about,
mhm,
hey, I don't like how like how I'm handling this.
mhm,
I think I need to step back. I think I need to realize, hey, there are better ways to handle certain situations.
mhm,
Um, Maybe better ways to live.
mhm.
Make better choices. We all, no one's perfect. Most of the world has a history with picking the wrong kind of person.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I feel like, and as a believer myself, I feel like we are supposed to, and I'm a big believer in lessons.
Oh, yeah.
I don't these days. I don't think of my exes as regrets or bad choices. I believe those were lessons that of stuff that I needed to learn,
Mhm.
or situations that I needed to go through, so I can learn what I don't like, what I like. Um,
How to be a better person.
how to be a better person, how to be a better
Mhm,
parent, how to be a better friend,
mhm.
all that.
And I believe the same thing, and I believe that even if the lesson isn't clear right then and there, it could be years later. Again, like, so in the beginning, I talked about the infertility and like this person and I, like, we wanted a child so bad. And here I am with Caden, and his dad's in prison, in and out of prison, doesn't do anything for him. He does not know his dad. You ask him if he has a dad, and he's like, my mom. Like, and that's not normal for society. And in my mind, I'm like, there's this person that I wanted to be with that would have been a good dad. And I won't take that from him. Like, he's a good dad to his kids. Um, why couldn't it have happened? But I honestly think that the lesson in this is that having a child, I am very, very strong willed. And
Shocker.
having a baby with this person, like, who I don't get along with, and that has been made very clear through this marriage and this divorce process, would have been a really bad thing. And so for years, I'm like, why? What's the lesson? Because I know there's a lesson in this, but what is it? And it was not immediate. I mean, we're 5 years down the line, and I'm just now seeing what the lesson was. And you have to be patient sometimes. Like, you're not going to get your answer right then and there. He doesn't work like that.
I feel like this is a rhetorical question, but I feel like whenever it comes to patience, you learned that a long time ago.
My patience is still very thin.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, when it comes to, we're talking about different patience because, like, my patience with my kids, they're on thin ice. But like
Always.
patience with learning lessons, like, I'm learning that it takes time. And I always keep it in the back of my mind if it's something that's unanswered, like, why is this happening? My job, for an example, why is this happening? I can only imagine that because I've been talking about doing certain things for so long, like there's certifications for HR that I would like to study for and take, but I never had to because I just got, I've had this job that, why do I need to? I'm at the highest point in the company that I'm going to go. Why do I need to study? And I put it off. And so I feel like even now, like, keeping this in the back of my mind, like, why is this happening to me? But it's to push me because this is what I'm supposed to be doing. You're not supposed to be comfortable. You need to push yourself. And the only way to become better at something or to do something different or to get out of your comfort zone is to be uncomfortable and push yourself to do these things. And until you get uncomfortable, you're not going to get to where you need to go. And I think that's important to realize.
Oh, yes, I agree. Yeah.
So I think that's the lesson in this. And maybe as time goes on, there will be a better lesson. I believe that I'm being pushed right now to do something different in life. I don't know what that looks like right now.
That's the exciting thing is,
It
you
is.
feel that like, hey, I I feel like I'm like right now I'm being made into doing something more. I don't know what that is yet. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I know when the moment happens, I will know in my heart, in my soul, in my brain, everything about it will be this
Mm-hmm.
is what I've been building to. And I know
Mm-hmm.
that because this right here, what we're doing, I felt the same way whenever I started this podcast. Is
Yeah.
I felt my entire life I was building up for something. Like I was made like my whole personality, the way that I interact with people, the way that people talk to me, like
Mm-hmm.
something was building. I knew I couldn't figure out what it was, and then boom, whenever this podcast idea came in, I was like, this is
You
it.
knew that that was the
Yeah.
moment. Yeah.
So, and I feel like you're gonna get there, and
Mm-hmm.
and no matter what, I mean, there's gonna be a lot of trials, a lot of like failed things, in the midst of all that. But every single step is going to be leading to that big moment, and I really honestly feel like you're gonna find it, and it's gonna be amazing
I
for you.
am. I am. And I believe that. I do believe that. I believe that whatever I'm going through right now is temporary. And I'm not in a bad spot in life. Like, I mean, I'm in a spot where I would prefer not to be in, but all in all, I'm not in a bad spot. Like, I'm happy and probably the happiest I've been in a year. But I'd like to get to that point where I know what I'm supposed to be doing, but in due time, like, we will find out. I have a lot of thoughts that go all across the board, like, from what I'm doing with my career in HR to, oh, maybe I want to speak, maybe I want to write, and maybe I want to do something different. I don't know. I don't know what that looks like. What I do know is that every day I'm going to push forward and figure it out. And I believe that there's something better in store.
I definitely agree. So it's a new year, and it's like the possibilities are endless.
Mhm.
Um, you talked about wanting to write. You talked about um speaking. You talked about like all these things, but those are things that you want to do. But what's the one thing that you need to do? Because those are different. What you want to do and what you need to do are two different things.
That's a tough question.
I know.
Um, I feel like I feel like I need to this year. It's funny that you say that. A friend of mine and I were just talking about these things, and I healthcare is a beast. It is a beast to work in. And I feel like for a long time, my kids have been back burner to my career. Because one, it's a demanding career, and two, like, this is how I take care of you guys. I feel like I need to take this time not only to refocus what my goals are, what my dreams are, but to realign with my kids. Um, I think that's important. My oldest is 16. Like, where did the time go? And we're at that stage in life where he's making some unclear decisions. And I think that now of all times is not the time for me to be bogged down by a career that your company could just close on you, and then you put in all this time at this career, all these hours, not there with your kids, and you gave up stuff that you can't get back. I think right now I need that. And so I'm excited about being able to pick my own schedule, and maybe it comes with some, I was Monday through Friday. Maybe it comes with working some weekends, or, like you and I have discussed on trying to record this, like, hey, they asked me to stay until 9 tonight. Can we reschedule? It comes with that, but it also comes with the flexibility to be able to be there for your kids. And that's a need right now.
Yeah,
Um,
I,
my,
I agree.
my kids have been through a lot with me. And just as much as I need to heal, they need to heal as well.
And I think
Um,
now is the perfect time for you to do that.
mhm,
Um, because your relationship with your kids is probably the only permanent thing that you will
mhm,
ever have in your life.
mhm.
Other than death and taxes, but that's death, taxes, and politicians saying stupid shit. I
Yeah.
mean,
I mean,
you know,
you'll always have a career, but my problem is I always put my career first. Um, Healthcare's 24/7. I'm on call 24/7.
okay. Do you know how to put yourself first?
No, that is something that I struggle with, and I'm working on, and I'm getting better. I was off today, so I took the kids to school. I was really tired. Like I mentioned, I have a laundry business, so I had 3 orders last night, was up all night working on them, and I put my phone on do not disturb and came home and took a nap today. And that, like, being able to do that is huge for me.
That was going to be my next question of when was the last time you did anything for you? But the nap definitely counts.
Partially today. I mean, I have my times where, I'm a woman. I like to go get my nails done. I like to get my eyebrows done, like, but that almost feels like a chore now. Like, oh, I got to get my nails done because I've kept it up for so long, and it's just, I don't know, like, I
Becoming a
haven't,
habit,
yeah, I
becoming
haven't,
less fun and more of a habit.
yeah, I haven't been out with friends and goodness, a year and a half. Not last summer, but the summer before. Like, I haven't done any of that for myself, partly because I mean, you're always busy, but the other part of that was I married someone who didn't want me to do those things. And so here we are, like stuck in this maybe not abusive marriage, but controlling marriage. And it's just as bad. Um, not saying like I'm not, I know I'm still young, but I'm not what I once was. Like, I don't want to go out and party, but being able to connect with friends, like, hey, let's go bowling. Let's go. You know what I mean? Like, just to do something fun. I need to get back to that.
Yeah, reconnecting or getting with your people is, I think, it's one of those things I've always been adamant about. Like, especially if you're going through some stuff, it is so
Mhm.
easy to push people away,
It
to
is.
just seclude yourself into work, seclude yourself
Mhm.
into your apartment, even your kids. I mean, having doing that, it's great, and you should always want to be connecting with your kids, but like, sometimes you need to do you.
Right, because sometimes being a parent full time is not, you need a break from being a parent full time
Yeah,
too.
it's just like working like a full time. Uh, I've always been like, whenever whenever my kids lived with me, there were a lot of times that I was like, I just need 5 minutes of just quiet.
Mhm.
Or,
Mhm.
like, hey, I'm gonna
I'm like,
go to
mom.
go to the grocery store, by myself.
See,
You
and
know,
I like my anxiety is so heightened that I don't like going to the grocery store. I'm like Instacart deliver. Like I hate leaving my house nowadays because I'm so comfortable in my house that I'm like, let me turn on Netflix and I'm completely fine with that. And I suppose that I need to come out of that shell a little bit.
no, I mean, I get it. I use the excuse all the time of, like, I pay for everything in here. I'm gonna get all
I'm
my
gonna
money's
enjoy
worth.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Outside, it costs me a lot more than it does inside.
Not just that, but it's like I don't like when I got up today, I ran some errands and like got dressed and I was like, oh, I'm recording tonight. Like I'm going to do my hair. And then I got home and I was like, I don't even care. I'm putting my hair up in a clip. I am taking my makeup off. Like I don't care because I want to be comfortable. And
Well,
like,
see, and that's what I tell
yeah,
every woman
no,
or man that comes on here. I'm like, I don't care if you want to look like homeless Adam Sandler, or if you want to
right.
look like a fucking Kardashian or whatever it is. You want to look like a goblin or a siren. I don't give a shit what you want to look. It's
But
going
that
on YouTube
I've hit
regardless.
that point in my life where I'm just like, I don't care. I don't care. And I'm anxious for I'm excited for summer of 2026. A friend
Well,
of mine, we're gonna go to Gatlinburg, maybe Nashville for a divorce party. I'm excited to see what it brings. I hope to be able to be in a position where I can spend more quality time with my kids.
hmm
Um, Outside. Like one of the things that we got to do a fair amount last year was fishing, and I've learned that my oldest really has a love for fishing.
Oh, there you go.
He's starting football. Like he hasn't played football in a couple years. So I'm excited for these things that are coming up that will get me out of my house and push me out of my comfort zone.
And yes, you definitely need to get out of the comfort zone.
Mhm,
I mean, the comfort zone it's great, and I mean, it is what it says it is. It's comfortable, but
mhm,
if I was always told from a guy a long time ago that if it's not brave if you're not scared.
This is
So
true.
if you're comfortable and you're just like going into this situation like, oh, okay,
Mhm.
whatever, I don't really care one way or another.
Right.
You don't really give a shit about it, and you're not really going to put your effort into it, but if you've got the nerves, you got the butterflies, and you're going into something, um it should be a little bit scary, or scared. You should be scared as hell. You should get those
Mhm.
butterflies. I still get butterflies whenever I do these interviews, because I'm like,
Mhm.
what if I can't think of anything to ask? Or what, like, I know me. What happens if I say something really stupid or
Mhm.
just like completely offend the other person? But then I realize the people that come on the show are not easily offendable because
No.
they've lived some shit.
Mhm. Yeah, we have. And I mean, I think that I don't know. If you said what is this year going to bring you? I have no clue. I have not a clue. Don't even have like the slightest idea, but I'm excited to find out.
That's
And once upon a time, I was not okay with the unknown. Like, I am a planner. I have to have these plans. Like, my calendar, like, I write in it, I look at it daily. I am a planner. I am okay with not knowing. Like, I have no idea what tomorrow's going to bring, let alone the year. And hey, I'm excited to find out.
yes, it is very exciting because I love not knowing. I'm a very spontaneous person.
Mm,
Uh, I will do a lot of things just on a whim. Uh, but I've learned with being with my fiance that there's times whenever, hey, dumbass, you should probably plan something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so
Especially
instead,
if she has OCD.
I'm learning. See, I learn a lot from her. Problem is, most of the time, I forget what I've learned
Hmm.
with all the concussions and the shitty memory that I have now. Uh, I'll learn something from her, or she'll say something, and I'm like, oh, that's a really smart idea. And then I should write that down. Do I
It
write that
just moves
down?
on.
No,
No.
I don't. And so, and then it'll come back up, and she's like, I thought you were going to write that down. I thought so too, but I
Right.
didn't. What was it that we were, what was it that you said
Right.
again? And then it becomes a whole thing where she'll, and then repeat what she said, and then I feel like a giant moron for not writing it down that second time, and it's a whole
Hmm.
wash, wash, lather,
Yep.
rinse, repeat. Yep, yep. So, yeah, it's fun. But all right, so okay, it's been great catching up with you. So in that first episode, I had all those questions about um oh damn, I actually forgot. I haven't had like a new guest on in a while. Oh, what do you appreciate the most? I'm assuming all the things that you appreciate the most haven't changed. So we're going to change it up a little bit.
Hmm.
Okay. If there was one thing that you would say about your story
Hmm.
and how it's gone so far, what is that one thing?
Hmm.
And I'll make it might be a little difficult, more difficult, but it might just be a lot more fun. As somebody that likes to read, let's make it your book title, your story. This is your story, and you've
Oh,
had
goodness.
two, basically right now, two, like, either you can look at it as two books.
Yeah,
So, what's in the grand scheme of things, what's your book title?
that's a hard one because I
Um,
thought of the title and I'm like, I have no idea. Like, I need to consult with somebody for a book title. I don't know. But the one thing that I will say is like, repeat your question, not the book title. What was your original question?
the original question was, looking back at your entire story,
Mm-hmm.
where you came from, childhood, what you went through there,
Mm-hmm.
the fucking just the dangerous situation that you were in um several years ago,
Mm-hmm.
the failed marriage,
Mm-hmm.
the not having your son and then getting him back, getting that dream career and then it falling apart. You've had a
Mm-hmm.
lot of Unfortunately, you've had a lot of just negative shit happen to you. And yet, you're still here. You're
Mm-hmm.
still going, you're still advocating. So, what's the one thing that you would like to tell everyone ab- about your story? Like, what's the one thing that you would want them to know?
I feel like a lot of people, we have all had trauma in some way, shape, or form. Others have had more trauma, worse trauma, whatever. Um, Something that really sticks with me, my psychiatrist, I see a psychiatrist. There's no shame in my game. Like, eh, you know what? I need help. Like, um, he tells me, and he's told me before, like numerous of times, a lot of the people that went through the things that you have went through are on drugs. They're on hardcore drugs. They didn't cope with it. Um, I think like the one thing that I have to say to people is like you are stronger than what you realize and give yourself credit for. You just have to like I don't know. I don't even know how I got to the point where I am where like I'm a fighter in these situations like because I can't say like it's something like oh I'm going to, do this that and this like it just comes natural, but anybody who's going through anything or like been through things or you're still struggling, like maybe you're going through that divorce, maybe you are trying to get custody of your kid back, maybe you're trying to get the courage to leave this toxic relationship that you know is toxic, but you're scared because you don't the unknown. Like, what if I miss this person? How can I leave? Like, we have a kid together. Like, there's so many scenarios of what people could be going through while they're watching or listening. Um, that I feel like I've hit on a lot of them. Like I've been there, I've lived it, and it's okay. You got to find your inner strength. And it's not easy. I mean, there's a lot of times where I've been like, I am not going to survive this. Like mentally, I'm going to lose it. And I'm here. And I think like focusing on what's important in the future for you is easier to push through, and it I'm not taking anything away from the fact that it sucks to go through these things, but you come out smarter and stronger. And if I've taken anything away from literally childhood at 3 years old to 34 years old now, it is that if I could go back and relive my life and none of this happened, I wouldn't do it. And that's crazy to some people to be like, what you wouldn't go back and have a better childhood? No, because if I wouldn't have went through sexual assault, multiple failed relationships, two failed marriages, losing my oldest son, getting custody, like if I didn't go through some of the things that I went through, I would not be the same person that I am today. And I would not alter who I am today at all. Maybe I have some flaws, red flags, green flag. There's a lot of green flags. Like I wouldn't alter who I am today. And going through these hard times is why I am the person that I am today. So you can't look at it as like, man, I've been through this and like this is bad. And like, yeah, it is bad, but guess what? You came out of it and you are who you are because of it.
I before we wrap this up, while you were talking, there was this quote that short little quote that came to my mind while you were talking. And the way that I look at your story is 3 words. Sorry, 4. and yet she survived.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you did. I mean, you survived all of that, and you did it with literally, just for the most part,
Mm-hmm.
you had, you
See
were
my
your own, advocate. You were your own uh, backbone. You were your own person that pushed you, and you're the one that got yourself back up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that you and God, you
Mm-hmm.
know, he did. He helped you get there.
Yeah.
He
But
got
I
you
have
there.
to say I didn't always have faith in God. There were times where I was like, you know what? If he was real, I wouldn't be going through this. And that's not true. We go through things. We're meant to go through things.
He puts us through trials to to get us to where he knows we need to be.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, so all right, so we're about ready to wrap up. Is there anything else that the world needs to know about Brittany?
No, the only thing I would say is if I can do it, anybody can do it. Whatever somebody may be going through, that divorce, that custody battle, the one thing that I can say I have not ever dealt with, and I'm very thankful, and not to throw shade or it's not in any way doing that. I've never had to deal with an addiction, but I have loved somebody who was addicted, and it's very hard on that side. That addiction, that whatever you're going through, like, you have the power to get through it, and it's not a flaw. It makes you who you are today. And I mean, I think about the things that I could have been doing with my life right now had I would have made different choices, but I wouldn't change it for the world. And I think especially women, I'm not, men too, but especially women. And we talked about society and what women should be doing right now. Like, live by your own rules. Forget what society has to say. Stand
Society,
out, be different.
yeah, society has a way of fucking up everybody's perception. Society has
Mhm.
their own views on what women are, and then
Mhm.
society has a view on what men are, and I do not subscribe to either of them. I was
Mhm.
raised by a independent single mom. Women raised me, so I'm very much aware of how powerful women
You are.
are. Um, and then but because of how I was raised, I also was aware that all these um, things about men were inaccurate.
Mhm.
So I mean, and speaking of that, without having to go into details on why, when was the last time you happy cried?
Mm. It's been a while. It's been a
When was the
while.
last time you sad cried?
Probably going through all of the emotions of the divorce, and then I angry cried on New Year's Eve.
That was going to be the other thing, was angry, and
Yeah.
and people may ask, like, what's the difference? Okay, well, obviously everyone knows what a happy cry is. Like,
Yep.
having you're having that moment, that joyous moment of something that you didn't think you could get, or was
Mhm.
was like out of your reach, and you got it. You were able to witness it, and boom, instant tears. And then obviously the sad cries. A lot of people have those.
Yep.
Um, but the angry cry is whenever you're just so fucking mad that water just
That's
shoots
a
out of your
dangerous
face.
cry. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That is yeah. If you're angry crying, then it is one of those situations where if you see someone angry crying, you might want to leave the room,
I've had
the
a
house, the state, the country.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. So, all right,
It's
Brittany,
okay.
it's been great catching up with you. Thanks again for coming back on.
Thank
And
you.
like I've always said, this show is open to anyone and everyone if they want to come back and talk about whatever we may not there may not even be like something for you to discuss, but there's a way for you to come back in. I have a revolving door of guest co-hosts, so we can always try you out on that. That should be fun.
That would be fun.
So, but yeah, thanks again for coming on and telling everyone where you're at now. And I know I am looking at big things for you. I have like just whenever we met that for that first episode, just talking with you and kind of interacting over the last year and a half. I'm not gonna lie, I keep an eye on you because there was a lot of a lot of listeners that were messaging me and asking how things were going with you. So I was like, well, I'll keep an eye on her. It's basically like stalking, but
We're
it's
friends
more,
on social media.
but I'm more or less using it for research. That way, I can
Yeah.
claim
And you've reached out a couple
that I'm
times.
researching.
Yeah, and you've reached out a couple times saying, people have asked, and I think that pushed me even more to want to come back and be like, here's an update, because we had discussed me coming back on like summer of last year, and
Yes.
I'm glad that timing didn't work out, because I wouldn't have had a true update. Oh, I'm married. Yay, butterfly. Like, that was not a true update. And so I'm glad that it didn't work out that way.
I'm glad that it didn't work out either. And as weird as this sounds, for the listeners and for your story, the tragedy is always better for for viewerships and listening than hey, I'm married and I'm happy.
Yeah,
That's
we're not
great.
living a fairy tale. Yeah.
On like if that was the case, I'm super excited. I'm happy. I'm
Hmm.
cheering you on from abroad.
Hmm.
I will be reaching out every once in a while. I'll be like, hey, Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Blah. I'm glad you're doing well. But for the show, on a selfish nature, and I'm joking about this, I prefer things to be messy.
Well, and because that's relatable to a lot of people, we don't live in a fairy tale. And so I'm glad that timing worked out the way that it did.
Did and in all honesty, there's between like like, everything that we went through over the years, and like last year everything was crazy. The show, I ended up having to put a lot of it on the back burner, and most of the episodes that I put out last year was only because I had a free moment. So
Yeah.
but hey, we did it. We got this. We got this thing accomplished. But
Yeah.
it was always wonderful talking to you.
You too.
You're doing amazing, and I'm super proud that out of everything that's happened to you in the last year, you could have given up. You didn't.
Mhm.
You survived, and to me, that's some role model material. Maybe not the best role model,
Yeah.
but it's role model
Don't make the same
material.
mistakes. Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
so thank you again. And
And
like
we'll
I said,
definitely stay in touch.
yes, anytime, we can get together, and talk, bring you back on the show. Maybe, we'll try you out as a guest host. Hell, we might have, like, I might bring in a couple other people instead of having like an interview. We can have like a roundtable discussion. Those
That would be
are
fun.
always fun. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, thank you again for coming, and you look fantastic. I'm loving the frames, by the way.
Thank you.
So, all right.
All right.
Well, I
Thank
guess
you.
we'll all check on you later.
All right. So
Hello, good morning, Shannon. How are you? This is Amy Acker. I just wanted to say congratulations, 5 years on your podcast. That's so awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to take a listen. Just wanted to congratulate you on 5 years with the In Your Head with Shannon Standiford podcast. It's so incredible, and it's so important to open the discussion about mental health and have it be part of the dialogue and part of normal life. And it seems like you're doing your part to make that happen. So thank you. And yeah, congratulations again. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.
As we wrap up today's episode, I just want to say, Brittany, thank you. Thank you for coming back, for trusting this space again, and for giving us yet another powerful example of resilience. Your willingness to speak openly about survival, about healing, and about what it means to be a woman navigating a world full of pressures, expectations, and danger. Advocacy matters. Advocacy doesn't always look loud. Sometimes it looks like honesty and it, continues to show up with that courage. Listening to your journey, the highs and the lows, was a reminder of just how much life can take from you, from someone. Failed marriages, losing a dream job, moments that could have just crushed anyone. And yet, you kept going. You keep going, more determined than ever. Fighting for yourself, reclaiming your life, and getting custody of your son, and welcoming him back home. Those are all moments. That alone speaks volumes about your strength and your heart. You shared how this past year was one of the hardest, but also how it gave you perspective. How pain and growth can exist at the same time, and how clarity often comes at the end of the day when we allow ourselves to reflect. It was truly wonderful to talk to you again. Every time you're on this show, I walk away having learned something new, and with a deeper admiration, not just for you, but for your journey and the woman you are and the woman you're still becoming. Thank you to everyone listening and watching to In Your Head with Shannon Standiford. Until next time, be gentle with yourselves, stay curious, and keep having the hard conversations. This is where real conversations live, right in your head. I'm Shannon Standiford. Thank you again.